Okay, so we've finally come to the end of the scarf. And now I need to bind off to, and binding off really is just to finish off the scarf because it's still on the needle. So we need to finish off the stitches and make a nice edge to the scarf. It's very simple to do. After the first few, you'll get the hang of it. So how you go about doing that is, now you forget the pattern that you were working on, and this is how you do a simple bind so off. To begin, you're going to do 2 knit stitches. Oops. Right. So to begin, you're going to do 2 knit stitches, 1 knit, and again another knit. Alright. And then what you do is you pick up the bottom stitch, the first knit stitch. I'm trying to keep this in frame. It's a little difficult to do it in front of a camera. Okay, and there, I lost it again. There we go. And we're going to pull it over the second one. And no, you don't do that. You don't lose the stitch, but there. And basically what we've done is you've bound off the first stitch. So again, we're going to do another knit stitch. So you always need 2 stitches on your right hand needle. And you take the lower one and drop it over the first one. And that's your bind off. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing them. You can watch. There. And without even trying so much, there is a nice neat edge you'll have. Okay, oops. It really is little, just getting used to having to knit in front of a camera. Okay, there. And that is the bind off stitch, and that's the edge that you get. That's your corner stitch right there. So when you're looking at it, there it is. It's a neat bind off, and you'll get this neat set of chains on the top to give it a neat edge. So I'm going to continue and work all the way down to the last stitch. So you just continue working through it like that. You need to make sure to have 2 stitches on the right needle before you take off the bottom one over the top, and then continue all the way down. This is the most simplest of the bind offs, and it is the most generally used one. There are other kinds of bind off methods that you can do as well, and I will show you that in different projects as we work it. So I'm going to just work on this all the way to the very end until you get to the last. Now I've come to the last stitch, and you're left with 1. So what you do is just draw up a loop, leave it like a really big loop, and this is my working yarn. I take it, here's my loop, I take it across and I pull the working yarn through it and essentially make a knot at this side. So that's just to finish off my edge. Keep about a 6-inch tail. It's a good measure that you can weave off. So there's my 6-inch tail, and I'm just going to cut it off with scissors and pull the extra yarn through, and there is my finished edge. It's a nice neat edge, and we are completed with the scarf. So all we need to do now is to go in and weave the edges, weave the ends, sorry, all of the yarn that we've left with tails. We just need to weave it in, and the easiest way to do that would be to grab a tapestry needle and I'll show you how. Okay, so I have to weave in the ends, and I've done all the other ones. I've left this one because it's the most visible, and I guess it's the most easy for you to see, with it being a light color. So first what I do is just thread my needle, tapestry needle, and if you don't have a large eyed needle, it doesn't have to be so big, or doesn't have to be this particular kind. If you don't have a needle, you can also use a crochet hook. If you know how to use one, just to pull the yarn through. Okay, so now just to have an idea of what you're doing, basically you're going to weave in the ends, the string, to a certain length into the garment. And I don't use all of the 6 inches that I have here. I just go in a few inches in, and once I'm satisfied that it's secure, then that's good enough for me. I can just trim it off. But it really is up to you how far you want to do tails. And because this is I know he'll probably use this scarf for the season, and I'm more than happy to knit him another one for next winter if that's the case. So I'm not looking in it for too long of a wear, but I know it will take some wear and tear, being a child's item. So the way to do it is just to pick up stitches, and I like to do them one at a time and see it as it goes. So you can watch me while I do this. I'm just alternating here and running the yarn through so it doesn't look too visible that there's yarn running through it. Okay, so there. So if you can see what I've done so far, I'm just tucking it in basically, and it's nice to hide it on the seam because it's the last place you're gonna look to. It's not visible, it's not part of the pattern, it's not messing up the pattern. So now where you will need a little bit more of idea of what you're doing is with the stripes, where you have the ends on the stripes. You need to stick to the yarn with the same color of the stripe. So if you're working with a light blue yarn, you're going to hide it in the light blue stripe. Okay, so there we go, and that's good enough for me. Okay, so I'll give it a good tug to expand it. Like sometimes, if it stretches out, it may move through. So I'm going to do that. And yeah, it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. So at this point, I'm just going to clip it just slightly. And then, there. Now unless you really look very carefully, you can't even see that there was an end there. Okay, so here's the scarf. It's finished. And here is my cast on edge. Just want to show you that. Okay, it's kind of hard to see with the dark color, but here's my cast on edge, and here is my cast off edge, or bind off edge. And here's the scarf. It looks like it's going to be a really fun scarf. It was fun to knit it, and if you have been knitting along with me, I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know how yours turns out, if you did any variations on it. I'd really like to see what you've done. So please do share your ideas with me. And this is a very basic beginner scarf. I would give it a on a scale of 10, a 2, because it's just a variation on the knit stitch, and then it's just knit and purl, what is very basic. So I hope you like this project, and if you like to see more of these projects, don't forget to subscribe. And if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like the video, and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.